You're listening to Manna for the Day.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat and welcome to another episode of Manna for the Day. At ang ating scripture po ngayong umaga ay matatagpuan sa Book of Matthew chapter 5 verse 9. Ang sinasabi po dito, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." I think one of the rarest o isa sa mga bihirang bagay na makakita natin or matatagpuan natin nowadays is peace o kapayapaan. Whether it be peace of mind, a serene environment, a conflict-free nation, or even harmony among people or within a community. One has to be intentional with it, work hard for it to be attained. In the era of social media where everybody has an opinion, we have created such a toxic digital environment where we can't just let things go, where everybody feels entitled to voice out his or her side of issues and is always ready for debate. Also, now that the pandemic is easing off, things are rapidly returning to normal. For the past 2 years, we have been in our shells avoiding as much physical contact as possible to protect ourselves from the virus. Now that we are finally and safely rubbing elbows with each other again, human relationships are meeting eye to eye again. Ang pandemic po, may ginawa siyang dalawang bagay sa atin. It's either it created for us closer relationships with unlikely people, or has caused other relationships to drift apart. Hallways are once again a venue for highs and hellos, or have become an indifferent space for some. Even within the community of believers, sometimes, in the expense of proving whose side is right, we sacrifice peace with our fellow Christians. Is it really that costly to be gracious and patient with others? Ang tinuturo po ng Panginoong Hesukristo sa Biblia tungkol sa kapayapaan o peace ay napakasimple. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. The series of characteristics listed in the Lord's Sermon on the Mount are very basic yet key expressions of grace of a Christian. They are so plainly enumerated, elementary, straightforward, and uncomplicated. In the economy of God's grace, God sees as blessed those whose attitude is completely different from how the world behaves. So paano nga ba tayo magiging peacemakers? O sino ba talaga yung mga totoong peacemakers? As broken people who live in a broken world, our reflex o yung automatic po nating response over conflict tend to be escalated emotions, hostility towards others, defending ourselves when faced with criticism, or resorting to attacking the person when arguments deepen, which lead to resenting and hating others, creating discord and divisions, at yung pagkakaroon ng sila-sila at kami-kami. But God is a God of peace. And God, in His love, sent His Son so we can be at peace with God. And to live within the confines of this kind of mercy, we are called to live at peace with others, which means we should be easy to forgive. We should be reasonable, overlooking offenses and looking at the offender in the eyes and say, "We are brothers, magkakapatid tayo." We should enter into devotion with one another instead of taking our stance to argue and debate. We should be merciful and gracious with the same measure of mercy and grace we have received from God. In a world full of hate and hurt, the world will know the God we worship through our love for each other. There should be no place for division, for discord. Wala pong lugar sa hindi nagpapansinan or yung mga feelings of indifference or resentment. So think of that person who has wronged you. Think of that instance you impulsively blurted out unnecessary offenses towards another. Think of the people who used to share the same table with you but are no longer there because of indifference. Then paalalahanan po natin ang ating mga sarili that we are called to be peacemakers. And by being peacemakers, we will be called children of God.
And that was our manna for the day.
Subscribe and follow our social media accounts for more content and be updated with Bahrain Christian Fellowship.